So I'm not gonna lie, I've tried to film this intro a dozen times plus. I'm not kidding, maybe 20. Like, seriously, I've tried to film it so many times, and then every time I'm like, oh, I hate that, the quality's bad, the lighting's off, whatever, you name it. I've decided that, like, if I don't do it now, I'm never gonna do it. And it's like, I just kind of have to start, even if it's awkward or uncomfortable or takes me some time to get used to being here, talking in like my normal voice, not putting on like a customer service persona, which tends to happen in front of the camera sometimes, instead of like just being myself, like I'm talking with my friends. So I'm gonna work on that. Hi friends, my name is Autumn. I'm also affectionately known as Audie or Worm, and welcome to my channel. I'm sorry if you can hear my dogs in the living room being just absolute little gremlins right now. I really want to keep this intro video kind of short and sweet, so I'm gonna get right to the point. This is the beginning journey adventure stages of me wanting to start my own art business, and more than that, I guess, as well, is just learning art in my 30s and just seeing where it goes. I actually started learning how to draw and just make art in general, really. I guess, like, you know, the kind of art that has like rules and principles and that you have to like learn the foundations of, not because like you can make art even if you don't know what you're doing. Like, lots of things can be art, right? But I decided I wanted to learn how to draw fan art for Stardew Valley because I was obsessed with Sebastian and I wanted to be able to draw him. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna learn how to draw so I can make my own fan art. And that actually kind of took it from there. When I was in high school and younger, I did try to doodle and draw, and like even in middle school, like I did want to learn how to draw, but I came from a really small town. There wasn't an art class whatsoever in my middle school, elementary school, anything like that. I mean, I guess technically we had music. Music is art, but like not the kind of art that I was talking about. Then in high school, we only had one art class for freshmen. So you started in the first art class, and then like the other art class that was taught by a different teacher was like further on. So either way, you were stuck with a specific teacher when you started art class in my high school. And unfortunately for me, the art teacher was also the father of my, like, one of my childhood best friends. And he didn't really have the best opinion of me by that point. He thought I was a bad influence, which is kind of funny because I definitely was not the bad influence. I did in fact try to keep his child from doing things she shouldn't be doing, but I didn't feel comfortable taking a class taught by him at the time. And part of that is because I struggle a lot with anxiety, like really bad anxiety. In high school, I tended to shy away from anything that made me uncomfortable or anxious or scared, and it kept me from doing a lot of things or pursuing a lot of things that I think I would have really loved or thrived at in my life. So I didn't take any art classes then. And then as I got older, I was focusing more on things like music, and I've tried to learn instruments and I'm not really great at it. So that kind of catches us back up to today, or sorta. A couple years ago, I started the fan art, or decided I wanted to start that fan art. So I did get an iPad through my phone plan at the time. And it's the same iPad that my friend has because she used it for digital art and like used Procreate. And I was like, excellent, you know what you're doing. I'm gonna do what you do. So I did that. And then I started using stamps because I was like, you know, stamps would probably be like helpful for me to start with just so I can make things while I learn. And then I quickly realized stamps aren't gonna help me at all. And I felt really uncomfortable using stamps and like posting my art on the internet with them because it didn't really feel like my art. I felt like I was stealing. And I mean, obviously I know that the stamps are there for you to purchase and that like in the descriptions when you buy the stamps, you can use them for your like personal use and stuff, but I just knew that they were going to limit me. So then I was like, you know what? I kind of want to get serious and actually learn how to draw. And it was a ride. It was a ride. It took me a minute, but I got there. I got there, and I continued to take online classes and read books and teach myself in every way that I know how. I utilize YouTube. Basically I find whatever information I can and I do my best. I would personally say that Patreon and 21 Draw have been like my two best friends when it comes to taking art courses. Right now I'm taking Rodgon's 21 days or learn anatomy in 21 days course on 21 Draw, which it has been longer than 21 days. I'm over halfway through it, but I just want to like practice a lot in between the modules, at least like when I'm trying, like learning something new sorta and like applying it and trying it in different ways. I want to give myself time to let that really sink in before I just move on to the next thing and it becomes information overload and then I don't actually progress and I'm just like depleting myself instead of learning. Now that I've talked a little bit about my past and present, I really want to talk about kind of where I want to go with this channel so every one of you knows what to expect, sorta. My main goal is to document me opening and launching and running a small art business. My goal would be to be like a full-time content creator slash artist. I really eventually want to be able to fully write and illustrate a graphic novel. I understand it's going to take me some time to get there. And, you know, I'm going to be trying different things, learning new things along the way. I do more than just draw. I also make clay charms. Like I use mostly air dry right now. I am about to branch out of air dry clay, try other kinds of clay, but I make clay charms and I also like to crochet. I make my own handmade moss ball keychains, which I'll show you guys, and stuff like that. So I really want to be able to sell like prints and stickers and bookmarks and just like handmade things that I really love, that I really enjoy making, that brings happiness to people, especially in such really hard times, like in the world, right? Like not just in the US for me personally and other people in the US, obviously. Something about art and being able to create a community around art, just, it feels good. It feels like my slogan says, like a light in the dark. And that's kind of what I want to be. It's what I want to provide. I want to be able to be here to just brighten someone's day or night, I guess, if it's a light in the dark, but you know what I mean. But I really want to document that, but I also will occasionally document things like learning how to draw, learning art, learning different things about digital art even. And eventually I would like to go to art school or even maybe take like an art course, something like Mark Bernay's like, you know, art school kind of situation. I haven't fully decided, and that will be a topic that we definitely discuss, but at a later date, because I'm not there yet, so we'll get there. I did forget to say that I am non-binary and I use they them pronouns, and I know that maybe not everyone will watch to this part, right? Or not everyone will remember, or people will comment before they get there. And the thing is, like, things happen, right? I get that. However, I have just notoriously been misgendered consistently on TikTok. People are like, girl, everything, and I hate it. It does give me the ick. So I do use they them pronouns, and I would just really appreciate anyone else who wants to actually join my community and become an oddball, because I thought that name was so cute. As soon as I thought of oddies, I was like, oh my god, and I could also call everyone else oddballs because that's so cute. As I said though, I really wanted to keep this intro brief. I didn't want to just sit here for a long time rambling on and on because I have ADHD and I tend to do that. I like get into one part of something and then instead of getting to the point, I get to every other point and then forget about the original point. So I just know that will happen if I don't give myself a little bit of structure and a little bit of a time limit. So I really wanted to keep this one short and sweet. If you've watched the whole video, if you made it this far, if you decide to subscribe and join this community and watch me on my art journey and like navigating my 30s, I would really appreciate it. I would love it if you would subscribe, like this video, comment, you know, say hi, tell me your names, pronouns, anything, what kind of art you're interested in. I appreciate anyone who's here and anyone who clicks on this video. So, okay, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.